Do you hear that sound? For an inhabitant of ancient Egypt, it meant more than just night. It was a sign. The Lord of the West had entered his domain. Today, we'll talk about a god who was feared, respected, and begged for mercy. About the one who met every person after their last breath. His name is Anubis. But did you know that his real name was different? Inpu. That's how his name sounded in the language of the pyramids, meaning he who is on the hill, watching over the horizon. The Greeks would later call him Anubis, and under that name, he would enter history. In popular culture, he's simply the dog-headed god of death. But the deeper we dig into the sands of time, the more terrifying and fascinating this story becomes. Today, I'll tell you about Anubis, what they don't write in school textbooks. Let's clear up the question about his head right away. Is it a jackal, a wolf, or a dog? This debate among zoologists and Egyptologists has lasted for decades. The thing is, Egypt is home to common jackals, but also a specific animal, the African wolf, which was previously mistakenly called a jackal. So Anubis is not just a scavenging jackal, he is the image of the wild dog Sab. Egyptian SBY. Judge. Do you see? The animal itself was already connected to justice at the level of language. Why a dog specifically? Look at the geography. Cemeteries were always located in the west, on the border with the desert, the Red Land, where wild beasts lived. Jackals would dig in the sand, tearing open fresh graves. It was an Egyptian's nightmare. To lose the body meant to lose eternity. Now, let's talk about his family. This is like a top-tier soap opera: intrigue, deception, foundlings, and revenge. According to the main version, cited by Plutarch, Anubis's father was the great Osiris, the god of rebirth and king of the underworld, and his mother was Nephthys. And this is where the tragedy begins. Nephthys was married to Set, the evil god of chaos, the very one who would later kill Osiris. Imagine, Nephthys falls in love with Osiris. She takes on the form of his wife, Isis, and seduces him. From this union, Anubis is born. But Nephthys is horrified. If Set finds out, he will kill everyone. She abandons the infant in the reeds. The child is found by Isis, the very wronged, lawful wife, and she doesn't kill the foundling, she raises him as her own. Isis raised Anubis, and he became her most loyal ally. There is one legend that explains a strange detail in the attire of priests. Have you ever noticed that Egyptian priests often wore leopard skins? This isn't just fashion, it's a memory of a battle. After Set killed Osiris, the gods held a trial. Set, realizing he faced execution, transformed into a fierce panther and tried to escape. But the gods caught him. And then Anubis, the adopted son of the one Set had killed, performed a symbolic act. He flayed the skin from Set, the panther's skin, and put it on himself. But that wasn't enough. Anubis went to the temple of Osiris and with a branding iron marked his own sign onto that skin, the sign of his lineage. From that time on, priests performing rituals would drape a leopard skin over their right shoulder in memory of the fact that justice had prevailed and the enemy was defeated. But the greatest gift Anubis gave to humanity was the technology of immortality. When Set chopped Osiris's body into 14 pieces and scattered them across Egypt, it seemed there was no hope. Reviving the king was impossible. Isis found almost all the parts, but to assemble them into one, that was a task for a genius. And then, for the first time, Anubis performed the ritual of mummification. He treated the body with oils, resins, and wrapped it in linen. He created the first mummy. That is why, in the Book of the Dead, Anubis is called he who is in the place of embalming. He is not merely a craftsman, he is a magician. He places his hands on the mummy and transforms an ordinary deceased person into a glorified spirit, a blessed spirit, capable of living in the afterlife. Anubis takes the heart of the deceased and places it on the left pan of the scales. On the right pan, he places the feather of the goddess Maat, the symbol of truth and cosmic order. The heart was considered the seat of the soul and conscience. It held the memory of all of a person's deeds. And here's the most interesting part. Anubis doesn't just do the weighing. He watches the pointer. He checks the accuracy. In the Book of the Dead, he is called Sab, the judge. He decides if the scales are working correctly, if the gods are playing fair. If the heart was heavy with sins, it would outweigh the feather. But Anubis wasn't always the second in command. Archaeologists have found texts from the Old Kingdom, the pyramid texts. And there, Anubis is the main god of the dead. He holds the title Kentiamentiu, foremost of the Westerners, meaning the chief lord of the West, the land of the dead. But then came Osiris. With the rise of the Osiris cult, Anubis was pushed into the background. Osiris usurped his titles and his position as chief judge. Anubis became what we know now, a guide and embalmer. However, his cult did not disappear. The center of worship for Anubis was in the city of Qusar. The Greeks called it Kinopolis, which means city of the dog. There he was revered as the chief god. When Egypt became part of the Hellenistic world, something remarkable happened. Today, we perceive Anubis as a character from horror films or art books. He is depicted on T-shirts. People get tattoos of him. But let's think, why has this image endured for millennia? Probably because each of us wonders what's there. And in that there, we need someone who will meet us, guide us, and keep us from being lost. Anubis is the archetype of the guardian of the threshold. He is neither good nor evil. He is just. He is the one who holds the scales. And if you ever find yourself in the Hall of Two Truths, remember, your heart will be weighed. And it won't matter how much gold or power you had, only one thing will matter. What is inside you?